To talk more about what happened, our Chief Foreign Affairs Editor, Rob Parsons, is with me. Tell us a bit more about the circumstances of this raid, Rob, and who this individual is.
Well, it seems to have happened very early in the morning. From what we can gather, this was a helicopter-led attack by the Americans, several helicopters involved. The reports too of aircraft and drones flying overhead, soldiers put down on the ground, special forces. A battle seems to have gone on for about 2 hours, and the Americans say that it was a fierce battle, that they were fired at by anti-aircraft weapons mounted on vehicles, but nobody amongst the American contingent was injured. There were 13 deaths, however, 6 children, 3 women, maybe killed when al-Qurashi blew himself up, according to the Americans. But as for who he is, he's been... We know at least that he's been the leader of the Islamic State since at least the beginning of 2020. It's thought he might have been confirmed as head of the Islamic State after the death of al-Baghdadi a couple of months before that. We know that he has played a leading role in the organization for a considerable time, one of the hardened veterans of the organization and also one of the key ideological figures in the organization. He's educated in Islamic law at the University of Mosul. He's also the man who provided the ideological underpinning for the genocide of the Yazidis in northern Iraq as well. So this is a man that the Americans have been after for a long, long time, even before al-Baghdadi was killed in October 2019. There was a bounty on his head for $5 million US. I have no idea, but I imagine the bounty has gone up since he became leader of the Islamic State organization. But it's because he plays such a significant role, and because he's seen as a consolidating force in the Islamic State, which today is predominantly made up of younger leaders, that he's regarded as being so important. And bear in mind, too, that this comes very soon after that attack by the Islamic State organization on the prison in northern Iraq, in which hundreds of people were killed. At least 200 of them Islamic State operatives. This does suggest that there was an immediate response by the Americans to that attack.
And Rob, you're hearing that the American forces took off from Erbil base, that's in Kurdish-controlled Iraq.
Yeah.
What's the significance of them beginning this operation there?
Well, it does seem to be the case that the helicopters took off from Erbil. I'm not sure there's been any confirmation about that yet. But it's interesting because in December of last year, it was announced the Americans were ending their operations in Iraq. However, a couple of years ago, and I don't think this has been ended since, U.S. Central Command said there was no end date set for U.S. intervention in Syria. So they may get around that by saying, look, this is an operation that may have started in Iraq, but the target was in Syria. Nevertheless, it does indicate very clearly that regardless of what else the Americans are doing in Iraq and Syria, special forces operations are continuing to go ahead.
Rob Parsons, thanks very much indeed. And let's